Check out how we've turned the rear of this LandCruiser 300 series from a people carrier to a weekend adventurer. This 300 series is my everyday drive car. I've got a new baby, so I need to keep it a practical family car that I can drive to work and to the shops every day. But on the weekend, as let's face it, Andrew and Bryony don't let me take any more time off than that, this 300 series can turn into an epic touring car. So let's jump right in and go through how we've transformed the rear of this 300 series from a carrying people to carrying everything you need for an epic trip away. So in the back of this 300, being a VX, it was initially a 7-seater. As part of the J-Max GVM upgrade, the 7 seats are removed and we're left with all this spare space. What I've opted for in the back of this is what I think is the most practical solution for my situation, being a family car, carrying a pram, all that kind of stuff, as well as being able to sneak away on the weekends and throw the fridge in. So what I've opted for is the RV Storage Solutions drawer system. Now this is one of their many combos. Hi everyone, I'm just quickly going to jump in and interrupt this video to let you know that everything you are seeing in this build series is stuff that we can do for you. So I have a full workshop in Maroochydore. If you want to build the ultimate off-grid touring vehicle, click the links below, get in touch with us so we can sort it out for you. Anyway, I'll leave you with it. The configuration I have opted for as such is the single drawer on the right-hand side. Nice, lengthy, deep drawer for storage. And then on this side, I've opted for their travel slide, which can house my fridge on top. And then it's also got the pull-out table with some more storage underneath. Now, you'll probably say, Josh, but how are you supposed to have your fridge on that when there's a platform all up here? So that's the beauty of this combination. I'm looking for the lever, it's over here. During the week, as I said, you know, work, picking up things for work, driving around with the pram, all the kids stuff, I can have a solid flat platform up the top, utilize the space, what I need. Come the weekend, when I go away, I can actually remove this panel completely, and then I can pretty much put my fridge on this slide and it's accessible and away we go. Now, the beauty of it is I can also obviously leave the fridge in full time, still fit my pram on the other side, and it's just such a user-friendly drawer system. So a few things I've opted for on them as such is I've opted for the black pack. I think it looks much nicer than the shiny stainless steel checker plate. So everything's a black finish, ties in really well into the back of this vehicle. The other main reason I went the RV drawers is this is a full alloy construction. So the drawers themselves, they weigh under 100 kilos, which, look, when it comes to drawer systems, you know, the likes of other brands, they're all steel construction. They're over 100 kilos. More weight you add to the car, less weight you can keep, you know, in your van and your GCMs and all that jazz. So they're super lightweight for what they are. So another reason I opted for the RV Storage Solutions is they basically have a framework that allows for space underneath the drawers itself. So I've got Sean here. Once again, we love Mr. Invicta, and he's going to pretty much run through what we purchased off him that fits under these drawers. What do we do, Sean?
Well, Josh, you had a nice bit of room under here, so we slapped in one of the super slim 200 amp Invictas, the SNL SS12V200 BT. Went in there very nicely. That is capable of running up to a 3,000 watt inverter. We know that you like your mod cons, mate, so thought we'd make sure you had the facility to run all of that. And
got to make sure my toys are charged.
You've got to keep the wife and kid happy as well when you're travelling around, mate. So that's got the facility to run all your toys. Excellent.
And run me through a bit of the specs, I guess. How did we manage to fit it in there? What does it weigh?
So they're around the 26 kilo mark. They are a tiny bit heavier than our traditional 200 BT just because of the metal casing with all the bracketry on it, which does make the install a lot easier. They're only 58mm wide, so they fit it under there very well. They still come with your Bluetooth monitoring, so you know, while you've got some awesome gauges to keep track of it, you can also do that via your mobile phone as well.
Awesome, and now one of the key things I want to point out with the RV drawers as well is I could actually get 2 of those super slims under these drawers. Obviously I've got the Caravan, which you will see in a later video, so I don't need 400 amps in the back of the car, but if this was your sole touring vehicle, rooftop 10 on top, we can definitely go 400 amps of lithium as well, which, I mean, you can never have too much power, can you, Sean?
Well, look, obviously as the guy selling the power, I'm definitely going to agree with that. But like yourself here, there was room for compressor and a few other accessories under there on the other side too. So the beauty of these is you can really tailor make the build to whatever your requirements are.
All right, so now that Mr. Invicta has magically vanished from screen, I'll run you through some of the other electrics that are basically what that battery is powering. So straight off the bat, how we're feeding charge into this battery is we're utilizing the Redarc BCDC Core, the 40 amp model. So that's all mounted on the back of the draw system, which you'll see very soon. The reason why we opted for a 40 amp core over the traditional BCDC is the main difference is the cores aren't a waterproof unit. The traditional BCDC1240D, it's a fully sealed unit where the core is not. Being that it's on the back of the drawers, it's inside the vehicle, it's not out in the weather, we didn't need to go for pretty much the full IP rated unit. So now that we've figured out how we get charge into the battery, what does it run? So this runs everything you see in the back. So there's socket plates either side. On the back of the draw systems, we're using a Redarc 2000 watt inverter. It goes to the GPO, so a couple of power points out the front here, so I can run induction cooktop, coffee machine, all those sorts of things out the back of this car. To monitor all that, we're utilizing the Simarine system. So the Simarine Pico display over here talks to a whole heap of shunts on the back of the drawers once again and gives us real individualized monitoring of each circuit in this car. I can see what the fridge is pulling, I can see what the light is pulling, to the point that my spotlights and work lights all up on the bonnet, you can see what they are individually pulling to give you a real live data, accurate kind of power usage. So if you're chasing a battery drain or your power's going somewhere, you can see what circuit it's being pulled on. That brings me to what I'm using to switch everything. So in the back here, I'm pretty much utilizing the Garmin power switch module. This is an awesome product that I've been playing a lot with. So it's a nice, sleek little pretty much switch panel in here. So we've got six circuits on here and 2 inputs. Now, what I mean by inputs is this works basically like a little relay system. So I've got my outputs, I've wired ignition to it, and I've wired my high beam trigger. So what it does is when the Garmin sees either one of those triggers, I can tell it to turn a certain circuit on. In this case, my driving lights up the front and the lights on the bonnet, they pretty much are triggered via high beam, but I can also manually override that and use them as a camp light when setting up. So if I just want some light around the place, I can leave those on. They run off the super slim under the drawers, so I can leave my lights on for as long as I like without flattening my start battery any way, shape or form. It also, both these products, the Simarine and the Garmin, fully monitored and pretty much user control from a Bluetooth app on your phone. So you don't even need to have the back of the car open to switch things on, switch things off, or see what that battery is doing. Some other features I've got in here, so on this side of the draw systems, we've basically got tucked in behind here an ARB double pumper compressor. So what that does is it allows me to pretty much have onboard air, use it to inflate my tires, deflate, pump up, blow up toys, and it also controls my airbag. So as you've seen in previous episodes, part of the GVM upgrade, I've got Airbag Man suspension bags in the back in the coils. They're actually plumbed into my compressor, so no more manual filling, trying to find an air hose to pump them up. I can switch the compressor on, hit the little switches down here, and I can adjust the pressures on the go, basically. Awesome bit of kit, real user friendly, and I can literally inflate, deflate, anything I want, anywhere in Australia. This is fitted with as I said, a Redarc 2000 watt inverter. So what that does is it basically takes 12 volt power from our super slim under the drawers and turns it into a 240 volt AC voltage, AC power, just like you have at home. Utilizing some power points on the front of the drawers, some pretty much double pole GPOs up here, we can plug any 240 volt appliance in as long as it is rated to 2000 watts and under. Now, a big benefit of this particular setup is if my caravan batteries were running quite low, I can actually plug pretty much my extension lead into this, through a 10 to 15 amp converter, into the caravan and turn on my caravan battery charger and pretty much deplete the 200 amps in here and put it into my caravan if I really needed to. So that's a handy function with inverters and big battery systems in cars. I hope you loved the rear of this wagon as much as I do. The draw and electrical system are what really makes this 300 series wagon a great touring car. We have one final video in this build series that runs you through the lighting and communications we've set up in it, and also the second dual battery system we've installed under the bonnet, which is a great option if a full draw system is just a bit of an overkill for you. Alright guys, so that kind of wraps us up for episode 4 of the 300 series build. We've covered off on the draws. There's some few things we're going to dive into in the next build. So pretty much like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and so you get notified when this video is out. As always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.
Accelerate off-grid touring, powering your adventures.